Hello my friends, I hope you're doing great. So finally launching on both of the platforms, Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, nothing special really I expect from Ukraine is doing. I need to change the name of the stream. Hi there, KB13. Hope you're doing great. Just waiting for for people to join, and by the time of the wait, I'm putting out the stream for the readable thing, yeah, for the audience, and for me myself, yeah. So I put comments, I put everything for me to see. Totally insane. Hi, how are you? Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks. Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing freaking fine. Freaking fine. Yeah, I forgot something. I forgot to put on the comments to the screen. Let's try if it works. It should, I guess. If not, it means not. No, it's working. It's working, yeah. Silver Earth, hi. Today I was walking, hiking a little bit. And it was fun. It was fun. Oh, you're looking great. I think so, B Miles. Pop Top Potato, test. Yeah, the comments are there, thank you. Denys from Spain. Oh, Spain is great. Moab Deep. Yeah, Spain is the country I want to visit. I never was in Spain. I have never been to Spain. Yeah, of course I flown there as a pilot and stayed in a hotel for a while, but that was the destination that I was just for my work, you know. But I want to visit Spain. Not now, because there is the heat wave and summertime is hell there, especially southern Spain, but wintertime, why not? Why not? Spain could be better without socialist prime minister. You know, I like your prime minister. I like Spanish government. That they say to Donald Trump, get lost. So, as a Spanish guy, of course, you may not like it, but I have my own preferences. Yeah, I'm not speaking about in general Spanish politics, but I like that some of those guys are in opposition to what Donald Trump wants to propose to everyone, yeah? So, yeah. If I had your prime minister, I would be in Ukraine, I would be okay with that. Betsy, hi. Crowdmog, hi. And I don't like far-right parties. For me, left is a little bit more closer. Like, I don't like far left as well, like Hassan Pike. But I don't like right parties at freaking all. I'm more liberal. Stay cool today. Yeah, it's hot. It's freaking hot. And I forgot to turn to open the video, but we'll see. Maybe I'm gonna open it. So yeah. Let's check out the news. What do we have here? For sure, I want to support Trump. Trump supports Spain, and our prime minister is helping Ukraine. Meanwhile, buys Russian fuel and oil. Yeah, all of the Europe does it. Like, they're all hypocrites. All of those bureaucrats, hypocrites. They're purchasing. Belgium is purchasing lots of the stuff, and yeah, that's not so good. Something went wrong with the truck there. Oh, wait, who is here? A Russian policeman or what? Ah, that's funny. Denys, will you do a commentary on the World Cup games live? No. Probably not. El Lapito. Hi. Yeah, why in the evening? Like, I wanted to stream, but immediately then I switched the stream. My mood somehow it dropped. I don't know why. What happened? What happened? All right, let's check out what world sources say. The United States military strikes against... there is no... Now we have comments. Strikes against targets in southern Iran on Monday came after intelligence analysis detected a series of potentially threatening Iranian military actions in 24 hours, leading to the strikes. United States military analysis also detected activity in some of Iran's surface-to-air missile sites near the Strait of Hormuz that threaten land and carrier-based attack planes operate. Okay. So yeah, yesterday there was the strike of the United States military against some of the targets of Iran. Southern territories of Iran. Just occasionally some of the strikes. Show up and even you don't like me? What? I didn't see you. This is the first time I see you. On today's stream. Putin told all diplomats to leave Kyiv. What do you think about it? Just the usual blah 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 from Putin. No one takes his threats seriously. European diplomats are telling that it's okay, and Rubio today commented like, we received it from Russia, but yeah, nothing special. So American diplomats stay in their Europeans as well. Medvedev said, maybe they have lots of the diplomats to spare. Okay, try your best with the Reshnik, Hit more garages, I guess. I'm eating no keyboard. Okay. Bon appetit, Swain. Who doesn't like you? Then we'll be in trouble. Yeah. I worked as a flight dispatcher for several years. I guess that you miss your job too. A little bit. I miss my previous life, let's be honest. Not the job itself, even though I like flying, but I don't want to be dependent on airline or company or managers, I don't like this feeling anymore, and even though I like flying, but flying is flying, but job is job, and if you want to put them together, yeah, it's not gonna work as for me. Yeah, and not any longer. I cannot imagine myself now working for someone. At least at this stage, I cannot imagine. Yeah, but if I have to work like any sort of the job, I already, especially in COVID, I was even delivery guy on a bicycle delivering food for some penny just to sustain some of the living. Yeah. This was my experience. A captain of Boeing 737 just went to delivery guy because we only were trained to fly. So yeah, the job is amazing, but it's not for me. Well, Denys, hello everyone. So, Kiroim Slava, Swangeri. Same for me, it's a difficult way of life. Yeah, I cannot imagine being ATC, ATC has to face tremendous workload. Multitasking, for pilots is basically for, you constantly pay attention at least some sort for the pre-flight preparations, for takeoff especially, for landings, approaches, all of that, yeah? But for the cruise flight, it's mostly relax. For you, like if you have your duty time as an ATC, it's crazy. I mean, 0 hours you're just locked on, and you're working on at your, how to say, limit, human limits. Especially right now for the United States, then they lay off lots of the ATC. And there was the accident of, I think it was American Airlines, or no, was it, or maybe it was Air Canada, Air Canada. They hit the truck on the runway. Denys, how are you? Have you seen the video of Callan about super nuclear power? Yeah, we're gonna see that. We're gonna watch it. I haven't seen it, honestly. I didn't have the time today. I also work as delivery. Yeah, delivery. Some of my friends went as a taxi drivers. Then the COVID hit. Especially it was profitable to taxi at night. If you have the car more than average class B, some sort of standard class B or C or S, you'll have lots of the whores as the clients, prostitutes basically. Yeah, lots of them, bunch of them, and it's easier to work at night for some people. Especially driving, everything is free. Thank you so much for the interesting information over the years. Best regards from Bjorn. Oh, greetings to Norway. Please don't be tired and give Denys a like. Yeah, thank you so much. Please like. I like likes. Whole bunch of accidents. Yeah, lots of the accidents for the last few years. But yeah, it's aviation, About Belarus, I want to film one more video today. The commander of the Unmanned Systems Forces Magyar to Lukashenko. The first 500 targets are already marked, yeah. Free and practical piece of advice: stay out of Ukraine way. Yeah. So the tensions are rising, but I don't think that Belarus will do something. I don't think so, yeah. To do something, they need to announce a mobilization. Actually, both Russia and Belarus for the major escalation. I've not watched Callan video yet. Yeah, we're gonna watch it, I guess, later. About 7,000 servicemen of Ukraine are now being held in Russian captivity. Civilians from 10 to 20,000. Deputy Speaker of the Verkhovna Rada Olena Kondratyuk said. Yeah. Denys, please tell us some about Ukrainian culture and society, or favorite foods, and so on. Stories about youth in Ukraine. I don't know. We need to speak about something, some topic. I cannot come out with this decision with this story right away. We may touch something, discussing something, and I can tell like, oh, in Ukraine we had this and that experience, something like that. But like I don't have the script right from my head like ChatGPT telling you, okay, борщ, вареники, school life, and the stuff. Yeah, could be boring. I think I'm thinking now about boring stuff. I don't have any stories in my head. Like it's blank. Okay, so I'm not prepared for this shit. Yes, Denys, hope you're doing well today. Yeah, a little bit tired, but good. It's true, eyes beat up in the center. Huh? Oh, good news from UK. UK government has announced a massive increase in sanctions pressure on Russia, especially the new measures target cryptocurrency, exchange and illegal financial networks. Sounds good. Sounds good. Whatever pressure is created, extra pressure, it's always welcomed. It's better than purchasing some of the goods, right? So, Institute for the Study of War say that Ukrainian forces started actively disturbing Russian railway logistics in occupied Ukraine and the Russian western regions in spring 2026. Geolocated footage published in March-April 2026 shows guided Ukrainian drones damaging and striking. I think I was like first guy who reported about it, on YouTube at least. I think I was the first from all of the influencers. Oh, Ben Chester, that will impact Trump's revenue from Russia. You mean cryptocurrency sanctions? Yeah, it could be. Could be bad for Donny. Donny operates with cryptocurrency, and he could receive money from, who knows, maybe from Russia itself. About time you can done something good for Ukraine, yeah. Because recently there was the information that the UK purchased some of the aviation fuel that was processed from the Russian oil, so it's like giving Russia money. Yeah, it was the story of the previous week. My video is perfect, you see, it's doing very well. Actually, there are more. Like this counter you see on YouTube, yeah, it's not real. The real counter is in YouTube Studio itself. And if I check YouTube Studio, that's my recent video that I posted. It's already 330,000, guys. 330,000. 330. So for 7 hours, it's great. This is my best video, I would say, of the year. Of the freaking year. That I posted today and filmed today. It was nice. It is nice. Where does Russia keep all civilians prisoners? In prisons. Oh, a new camera was released. A new camera was released. Do we have it for sale? There should be. GoPro Mission. Oh, it's for sale. Shit, it's for sale. For so you prepayment for bestelling. For bestelling, you can prepay it. Yeah. Actually, I was like looking through this for this camera, you know. The first action camera with the 1-inch sensor. Should I give it a try? 620. I don't know. And immediately, like, if you want, you can buy. It's I ordered it before, yeah. Also my Action 5. But this camera should be good. Yeah. Or should I watch a review? I already messed up with the DJI Action 6. I didn't like this camera. But this is something new from GoPro. You cannot even order it. You cannot even order. That's interesting. So it's not available, like, even for prepayment. Well, I'll wait for the reviews, I guess. And enter discount, you can reserve. You can reserve, and that's it. And by the way, it is cheaper. Buy Denys Gear's beautiful thing. Yeah, I find myself with the gear acquisition syndrome. I cannot do a thing about it, so I just feel more dopamine or endorphins, or how to call them, then you await for something. Before, I was awaiting for different events in my life. I was awaiting, for example, in my professional career, I was awaiting for the flight simulator. I was awaiting for, like, where I can show my skills for the career upgrade, So I didn't buy the gear absolutely. I didn't have the gear acquisition syndrome, yeah. Yeah, I wanted to buy drone, but it was like distance. If it's working, it's working, yeah. But now I have it. I have the gear acquisition syndrome. And for me, it's like dopamine. Then you wait, you're like engaged into something, and then it arrives, you test it, and whoa, it films. But I don't really need it. I see that I don't, like, I will not buy it, probably, this GoPro camera, because I already have everything I need for filming. Yeah. So I need to think about it. I need to relax and not to waste money for nothing. Expecting some of the new gear to be a little better than the old gear. Because if you take, for example, DJI Action 4, DJI Action 5, DJI Action 6, they're basically the same. Like, night or low light filming is better on the Action 5 or 6. And there is almost no difference between 5 and 6 for standard YouTube videos. But Action 4, I think it has even better color science. Like, the picture looks with darker shadow, so it has this less HDR view, more cinematic. Let's tell it as cinematic action camera could be. Yeah? So, like, there was no purpose in upgrade for DJI cameras since DJI 4. And this guy whose name is Bolt and Bankrupt, it's not real his name, yeah, name of his channel. Bolt and Bankrupt, he went to Russia, Ukraine, all of those Soviet countries, and he visits sometimes other countries as well, some Asia and like different. He's a travel vlogger. And he records still on Sony X3000, a very ancient camera. I have it, by the way. But there is the issue with that cam. Mic starts to make a noise. So if it's very, very old, it starts to make noise. Like, you have this constant noise. Shh. And then the camera is new, you don't hear it. Then the camera gets old. You need to do some sort of the maintenance, I guess, to the microphone, because it gets the background noise. The sound is still okay, but this noise is annoying. I really like Sony X3000, but yeah, this feature, it's the thing why I do not film on that. And I filmed one of the vlogs on the Trash channel with X3000 Sony Action Cam. And I also didn't like the artifacts on one of the images. So yeah, I understood it as like this camera messed up. So yeah, of course, X3000 is uncomparable. Yeah, compared to the new cameras, it's very ancient, and the picture quality is bad. But the sound quality, if the mic is okay, it's great still. Yeah, so Sony, I don't know why they canceled the production of the new Sony Action cameras. I think it was really their niche. I think they beat up GoPro with their product, but yeah, they decided not to produce it once again. However, still, many of the YouTubers, they film on Sony. Yeah. But It's up to people. One way to let it go is to sell old materials. The cure from it, yeah. Did the cage match between Elon and Zuckerberg ever? No. They were beefing between each other, Zuckerberg and Elon. No, nothing happened. No fight. There is no worse situation than addiction from which we don't want to get out. I think we are addicted to something in the life. To something, yeah? We cannot be completely free. What should the Green Party, what, ban? I have a GoPro 11 Hero Black you can have for free. I have also GoPro 11. Actually, 2 of them. I didn't use them. One of my subscribers, he is from Switzerland. He on a stream he told me, okay, can I get the camera? I said, yeah, of course. Like I told in the stream that I'm willing to just give it away, and he wrote me, but I understood one thing. If I send him the camera or cameras, I will give my own address. So I have to give it, because if something goes wrong, cameras would return back, and I'm exposing myself to unknown man. And based on the content I produce, I don't want to specify my location to the guys I don't know, so I didn't send the camera. I'm sorry. Everyone is addicted to something, things like coffee or sugar, the most common addictions to, yeah. How the situation with the power outage in Ukraine is getting better? Yeah, of course it's better than in the winter time. We don't hear about the news anymore because everything works like more or less normally. The thing for Ukraine is to prepare for the future winter. It was terrible at the winter time, but now it's way better. So there, the power is okay. No more big issues. Let's make it like that. The biggest addiction now I have with the audio gear. Yeah, I'm looking for the possible variants with the audio, and even as for my ears, even way less expensive microphones are sounding for my voice better than very expensive. So I'll give it a try. Once again, I already prepared one more mic, the clone of Sony C800G. The clone is very nice. Like, I will never pay the money for Sony C800G, of course, it's very expensive. But for the clone mic, yeah, I can do it. It's 10 times cheaper, and I can get it. It's still high quality. High quality, they use premium materials, components, so, and I think I will like it okay. Did you see the latest video from Kellen? Yeah, we can watch it, Evelyn, because I was asked multiple of the times already. Do you talk about Vrachka, fortune teller, was using the 3 million USD bond he paid to go free? What are you talking about? Vrachka, fortune telling. So yeah. Oh, and the Ministry of Defense sent more than 60 Toyota Hilux pickup trucks to Ukraine. Dutch ministry, yeah. Nice. Actually, Jake Bro alone sent, I think, well, he sent 250, I think, vehicles. He not sent, but collected funds for those. Together with Sniffing Brigade, 250 vehicles. Just imagine. Wow. That's a lot. For the situation probably escalates, something will happen in Kiev, Zaporizhia, or Moscow. For example, reports of Colin Robertson, Konstantin Samoilov, and Greg Terry are ominous. Well, we can watch Colin what he says today about. Just a moment, I need to check out something. Um, 250, that's great. Yeah, that's a lot of the vehicles. Colin Robertson is his executive producer, Ben. What about the Enforcer channel? I see they do fundraiser every week. I'm not really into what they do, honestly. Sometimes I watch the streams if I have nothing to do, but yeah, I'm not sure about what they're doing with that. Colin Robertson. Oh, I need to go to the different channel. I'm sorry. Colin Robertson. Oh yeah, new video.
Now, most of that city is empty. And from here, we're racing towards the closest point to Europe's biggest nuclear reactor. And right now, something's going deeply wrong at the plant, sitting right on the front line of this war.
Europe's largest nuclear plant is on edge tonight. It remains under Russian control.
To film it, you gotta sprint through open ground before a Russian drone sees you from the sky.
Yeah, he was attacked already once in Kherson. I mean, his group, and there were Ukrainian soldiers who shot the drone. Yeah, and Zaporizhia nuclear power plant is definitely the biggest one in Europe. 6 reactors. It was built. It was like breakthrough. Yeah, breakthrough by Soviet Union, and still it's functioning very well. The station is state of art, let's say, and it's capable, I think, to produce. Like, there is the vast part of Ukrainian electricity is being produced by Zaporizhia nuclear power plant alone. I don't remember the number, but something like 1/3 or 1/5.
Filming this report, we hear that Russian drones are now being launched from inside the power station. That means the risk here is rising dramatically. The risk of radiation leak, the risk of catastrophe.
Well, actually, I haven't heard about whether Russia is definitely launching their drones from the territory of the Zaporizhia power plant. Like, throughout my reports, I have never seen information about the launchers or satellite images showing the launchers on territory. But there's the presence of Russian forces, of course.
Catastrophe. And this reactor is twice the size of Chernobyl. And if something goes wrong here, the disaster won't stop in Ukraine. Six nuclear reactors on the edge of the Dnipro River. Enough electricity to power a country the size of Portugal.
Yeah, just imagine the scale. Enough to power the country the size of Portugal. Just imagine this. Jeez. They should do the cage, then they build at the White House in front of Trump, yeah.
For decades, this was supposed to represent the future: engineering, progress, humanity, harnessing the atom itself. Then the invasion begins. Russian columns race towards the plant. Gunfire erupts beside the reactors, tracer fire cuts through the night sky. Workers inside the station broadcast desperate warnings across loudspeakers. But the Russians kept coming, and for the first time in human history, a functioning nuclear power plant is seized during a full-scale war. Russian troops storm the facility, scientists detained, interrogated, and tortured. The station cut off from the outside world. Then the
Actually, they captured 2 of the stations. Good evening, Mantis Porcius, and thank you for your support. Thank you so much. Good evening to you, and I hope you're doing great. Thank you so much for super chat. Yeah. Something with my voice. Something wrong with my voice.
reactors are shut down, dormant. But dormant doesn't mean safe, because even a silent reactor has to breathe. Cooling systems must keep running. Water must keep flowing. Electricity must stay online. Because if the cooling stops, temperatures rise, pressure builds, and the radiation escapes. Then, another catastrophe. The Kakhovka Dam is destroyed. The vast reservoir feeding this entire region collapses. Water level.
Yeah, I remember the time I was really concerned about Kakhovka Dam, like, because if the water goes out, and it went out, like, I thought, okay, there is the pool, how it will be supplied, this pool. Again, we don't have the comments from YouTube on the screen. Okay, I'll just vanish them, and yeah, this application is terrible. I mean, the one that shows the comments from both of the platforms. Freaking crazy ones, yeah. But apparently they have some of the channel maybe from the remains of the river. It still goes, but it's very narrow. And it goes here to the pool.
Plunge. Cooling systems thrown into danger. And the
yeah, you see? Yeah, there was... Come on. Come on, I need to capture it. Capture the screenshot.
Plunge. Cooling.
Yeah, you see it goes, like there is some... This is the river, it goes here. No, it goes like this, turn, so there is the distribution. This is the channel, I guess, to this. It goes underground a little bit. So there is supplement, yeah.
Systems thrown into danger, and the risk keeps growing. Power lines fail again and again, emergency generators activated repeatedly, every blackout bringing the plant closer to disaster. And if something finally breaks, the fallout won't stop at the front line. And right now, the front line is this city, right on the edge of the river, where Russian FPV drones strike every single hour. And at the very end of this shoreline is the only vantage point where you can still see what's happening across the water. And that is where we're headed right now. So right now we're headed towards the city center, and already the drone detector has started beeping, and that means there are FPVs in the sky. And what
I thought something was beeping with my equipment. You know, we have the same beeping sounds here, like my APS or UPS system for energy supply has also beeping stuff. But yeah, Kellen is going there. You see the anti-drone protection, all those nets, yeah.
What we do right now is head towards the riverbank, and down there we can get a clean shot of the power station. But that also means if we can see the station, the Russians can see us, the Russians that are occupying that side of the river. So we got to be quick and we got to be fast. I wanted to drive all the way down there, but the police have literally just said that it's much more risky if you're in a vehicle, because the drones can chase you and hit the car, and you're less likely to be spotted if you're on foot. So it's going to be about a 30-minute walk through one of the most dangerous and abandoned neighborhoods in the city, but it's the only way right now to get towards the riverbank. The Russians have denied all of this. They've denied targeting civilians, but more specifically, they've denied doing any of this from the power plant. They've denied launching drones, and they've denied doing anything from that station. And I want to see if that's true. And the only way to do that is to head right down there towards the river. So we have been walking for about 15 minutes, hiding every single time the drone detector goes off.
Nice.
Це до мене? Нема. Зараз давайте трошки почекаємо.
We literally have to run like this just to get a quick shot of Europe's biggest nuclear reactor. Honestly, of 3.5 years in Ukraine, covering every single frontline area, this has to be the most surreal. And the closer we get to the river, the quieter it gets. There's literally no one here. There's satellite images that have just been released in the New York Times showing that the Russians right now, as of 2026, are desperately trying to reopen this reactor. 6 reactors online are far more dangerous.
Yeah, they cut those, they cut some of the lines for the supplies, they refurbished those lines, they put new lines, so it is a very big project. They have to redistribute the power generation from Zaporizhia power plant to the occupied territories and just leave some occasional energy for Ukraine, because there should be something according to their let's say, not standards, how to call it, according to the operational requirements of the station. Like it cannot not give power to Ukraine, at least for now, because the station like that, it should give power first of all to continue its operation, but the consumers are not enough on occupied territory, so Russia has to resupply the energy partially to Ukraine. But sometimes they cut everything and they go to idle, but on idle you cannot stay for a long time, for forever.
6 reactors in a cooling phase. The Russians have already made this power station incredibly dangerous and volatile by blowing the Novokahova Dam a few kilometers this way. That meant that the water level dropped significantly all across this region, and that reservoir was designed to cool the reactors, all 6 of them. So then they had to install pumps, and those pumps require electricity. Most of the power lines that provide that electricity, that keep the reactors cool, have been damaged or destroyed. And it's gotten so bad that 15 times the entire station has lost all power and had to rely on diesel generators. That is the last resort ever. You literally never want a nuclear power station running on diesel generators. And the last time it happened was a week ago today, 26th of April, 2026, which happened to be the 40th anniversary of Chernobyl. And all this on top of the fact that all the scientists and engineers keeping that plant going for the last few decades are basically gone. They were tortured, chased out, and so now you got a situation where you've got Europe's biggest nuclear power station without any staff, running on diesel backup generators, without a cooling system, and they're trying to get it online. This could be a catastrophe. And none of this is hypothetical. This will happen if these mistakes keep getting made. Okay, so there it is. One of the most terrifying parts about this is the fact that I can see that plant means the Russians can very likely see where I'm standing right now. And that's what the police have told me as well. Come here at your own risk. But here it is. And listen to this announcement. It's saying there's FPVs in the air, right in front of the largest nuclear power plant. Someone could have seen us just in the short time that we were there from the Russian side. Yes.
Да. У нас просто можуть або з артилерії, або з дрона вбити, як мінімум. Останній раз я так в Покровській громаді, теж журналістами, ми на берег виходили, і нас з міномета просто обстрілювали. Ми єлі встигли втекти. Перед нами просто падали, прямо по нам. Тобто, берег – це не те місце, де треба знімати. Безпека все одно жити хочеться. Правда, кожному. Життя – це важливо. Мені больно дивитись на те, що перетворюється Нікополь. І сусідні села, вся оця берегова лінія, на жаль, страждає дуже. Ось така у них тактика. Просто, скажімо так, тероризувати мирне населення, тому що фізично вони сюди зайти не можуть. Тобто так, як там на Донеччині і так далі. Інша трошки ситуація. Тому вони знищують місто так, як вони можуть.
To see how dangerous Nikopol's become, we joined the White Angels, a police unit evacuating civilians from the city's most exposed streets.
So this is reinforced metal.
Нет. Спрашивают, если дрон прилетит по этой машине, мы выживем?
Нет, честно?
Да.
Советское качество. Ну, главное, чтобы двери открылись, потому что порвет. Сейчас по Шевченко надо будет заезжать и быстро подниматься наверх. И у нас там будет минут 5 буквально. Надо...
Calls for evacuation now mostly come from the south of Nikopol, close to the riverbank where the Russian FPVs can reach. The White Angels move civilians north out of the worst of the drop zone. Just like Kherson, Nikopol is being pushed
Thanks
back
for
from its
the
own
tip,
war front.
Anonymous.
Now,
666
they've taken
bucks.
us to
Thank
where
you.
those evacuations happen.
So this is where all the civilians are getting evacuated from. It's right on the river. And as you can see, all the guys who've taken me here, they're just staring right up at the sky right now, looking for drones. The beepers are going off every 2 seconds. So this is basically what civilians have to live with. You can see some residents there are kind of hiding under cover. Everyone's looking up at the sky. We won't hang around here for very long.
Все дуже просто. Ми просто для них полігон. Тут є на чому тренуватися. Ми дійсно знаємо, що з тієї сторони є учбові центри, де вони навчають своїх солдатів. І вони тренуються на мирному населенні.
What is the biggest concern with the plant?
Перетворити на військову базу та запустити для потреб своїх. За допомогою ядерного об'єкту можна диктувати свої умови. Практично всьому світу. Якщо вони будуть програвати цю війну, я думаю, що ми ті умови почуємо. Тобто це атомний об'єкт шантажу. Можна так сказати.
Yeah, I agree. It's
After
blackmail.
leaving the White Angels, I
They
wanted to
captured
understand
for
how a city
blackmail.
like this keeps functioning at all. So I spoke to the mayor of Nikopol. How is it being the mayor of a city under fire every single day like this?
А іншого в нас немає і вибору. Ну, я керівник міста, да, і сьогодні така ситуація, ми повинні працювати і робити все, що від нас залежить для того.
Matas Kopios, thank you again for your awesome support. Sorry for saying it in Moscovian language, but screw it. Где Рашка, там бедность, нищета, терроризм. In my opinion, the world is not aware enough about it. Yeah. So he says that where Russia, there is poverty and terrorism. Yeah, I agree. Thanks for super chat, Matas. Spocius. I hope I spelled correctly. So sorry. Thank you again for the channel support. Yeah, the world is still like purchasing some of the stuff from Russian resources and everything. Yeah. We'll see. At least the Ukrainian sanctions are working.
Щоб місто, ми в місті нічого не плануємо, ми тільки робимо те, щоб є сьогодні, є проблема, ми її вирішуємо. Надалі ми
Miles was fun.
будуємо.
People often ask why civilians don't always leave, and the answer is usually simple.
Война пришла, я люблю свой город. Я здесь родилась, но пришла война. До последнего мы не зламні, ми тримаємось.
Дякую вам.
Я вам скажу, що в своєму городі, ти в своєму городі.
Дома это дома.
Дома, да. Thank you.
So right now I'm at a hotel in Zaporizhia, about an hour from Nikopol, and I'm looking back at all the footage that we filmed today in Nikopol, and I had no idea about this until about 2 minutes ago. The police officer that I was speaking to, and this wasn't being translated at the time, is saying that the Russians are firing drones, the drones that were hitting the city, the civilians we spoke to, from the nuclear power station.
Ні, ну взагалі вони використовують просто атомну станцію для того, аби прикривати свою, ну, скажімо, свої воєнні злочини. Вони звідти там координують, працюють. Там раніше був, як запускали дрони.
The very idea that the Russians aren't only occupying...
Well, she said, I know Ukraine, she said that previously they launched the drones from that station. I think that they have their command in the station because it's after all safe. They understand that Ukraine will not send some of the strike there, some of the drones. on the nuclear station. That's why some of the military command could be there. But I'm not sure about whether they're launching the drones directly from Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. I mean, Shahed drones. Smaller drones like FPV could be. Bigger drones like Shaheds, I have doubts about it.
Largest nuclear facility, but using it as a firing point, as a military position. This is completely unprecedented if it's true. And look, it needs further verification. I've just reached out.
Yeah, Kellen already says he needs further verification. I would also count on that.
To local reconnaissance groups, people whose job it is to know where everything is in the sky, launch points. So there's something called the IAEA. This is the international body for protecting the world from the worst case scenario. And they've released a report this week and they haven't mentioned anything about this. In fact, I've looked back at their previous reports and they said that they could not confirm attacks from or against the plant.
Hey, hi, Green Lock. Hi, how are you doing, Captain? Good to catch you. Morning stream. Oh, morning. Good morning. You're probably from Australia. Are the supports from us in you're from Canada. Useful. I heard complaints about Rochelle's. I don't see much news about I also don't see much news about it. But Canada supported Ukraine a lot. Yeah. Thanks and greetings to Canada.
Partly because of Russian restrictions limiting access to certain areas. So they haven't been able to find any evidence. If I can find that evidence this weekend, I'll be submitting it immediately to this agency to get a response to see how they're going to deal with this, because this would be unprecedented in terms of escalation. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to see what these units say and see if we get anywhere with this information. So we just got a phone call from an officer of the 310 Brigade. This brigade specializes in reconnaissance. They know exactly what's taking off and landing in the Nikopol direction. And that means they know exactly what's taking off and landing in the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power station. So we're headed to see him now. Do you have any intelligence that suggests that this is a new tactic from the Russians, that they've started to do this?
Це факт, і не тільки знаходяться їх точки виліту на атомних в межах, будемо так казати, атомної електростанції, а також на будь-яких цивільних об'єктах. Будемо чесними, є
Maybe for FPV drones, yes, but for Shaheds, no.
правила ведення війни. Ми, як цивілізована країна, ми намагаємося зробити все і дотримуємося цих правил. Точки виліту ворожих FPV-дронів противника на атомних станціях, точки виліту в цивільних будівлях. Вони все роблять так, щоб ми вбивали цивільних. Але ми цього не робимо. They try to make this nuclear station as a shield from us.
So that was absolutely fascinating. And this confirms our worst fears, that the Russians, it looks like, are firing drones either from the station or over the station. And this represents an incredibly serious escalation. The International Atomic Energy Agency has categorically said that they have no reason to suggest that the Russians have or are doing this right now. But what they have said is if the Russians start doing this, it would represent a serious escalation, not just here in Ukraine, but across the planet. And this is honestly not what I expected when I first arrived in Nikopol. I've never been to that city before, and I expected to find civilians under attack, but I certainly didn't expect to find this kind of escalation. The rest of the world need to know that Russians are not just terrorizing civilians here on a daily basis, but they're willing to do it to the entire planet, and that is what will happen. Okay, so we just got back from Nikopol, and I've got my laptop out because in the last 30 minutes we've been sent some footage, and it looks like intercepted Russian drone footage flying directly over the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. We're going to blow it up here on the laptop and take a look. You can see clearly the actual reactors, and if I put it side by side with the other footage, it looks very, very, very obvious that actual Russian drone are currently flying over the nuclear facility, and that is incredibly dangerous. And this is absolutely unbelievable. The very idea that the Russians are flying drones not just from the station but over the nuclear reactor, and that changes this entire picture, because nuclear power plants are built with layers of physical safety, containment, redundancy, and fail-safe. So they are absolutely
simply not built to exist in an active battlefield. In about 30 minutes, I'm going to be meeting with the mayor of Enerhodar. This is the city directly opposite the river of Nikopol. He's been operating remotely, but what's very, very important here is that he's been in constant contact with those in the plant and with what is happening in that facility. And I wanted to speak to the mayor to show him these findings, to get his reaction, and honestly, just see if he's surprised.
We've been speaking to people in Nikopol yesterday and a different unit, that it sounds like the Russians are now using the actual nuclear facility within the grounds to launch FPVs as a launch pad. How do you react to hearing that?
Так, вони з першого дня, коли захопили атомну станцію, вони там розмістили військовий контингент, розмістили на постійній основі до 1000 військових озброєних з вибухівкою, з технікою, і все це відбувається за периметром атомної станції, в периметрі атомної станції. Тобто вони, прикриваючись ядерним об'єктом, таким чином шантажують весь світ цивілізований.
You know, what could that lead to? What's the worst case scenario?
Якщо брати по приблизним підрахункам, то там по ядерних матеріалах тільки в 10 разів більше, ніж знаходилось в Чорнобилі. Тому в цьому плані наслідки можуть бути дуже катастрофічними. Таке анемне захоплення найбільшої станції Європи, воно відбувається в 21 сторіччі. Це сумно, насправді.
So I've just got back from speaking to the mayor, and what stands out isn't speculation. It's the very idea that this plant is no longer just a piece of infrastructure, it's now an active part of the battlefield. So the next step here is obvious. I want a technical perspective. Someone who understands not just warfare, but what happens when warfare intersects with something like this. In a few minutes, I'll be speaking to Hamish de Bretton-Gordon. He's a former British Army officer, but he's one of the leading experts on chemical and nuclear risk environments. How significant is this, and what's your reaction to this footage?
Well, I think it's my reaction is one of complete shock. The potential for accident is absolutely massive. That should be considered a war crime. If there is military munitions in the area, you know, an accident could create, you know, something far worse than just a drone blowing up. Of course, in a way, it does show how desperate the Russians are getting. We know that across the Donbass and other areas they are moving backwards. This is of huge concern.
I would say that the threat is not just those drones. I think that those are minor threats because, yeah, one single FPV drone, it may not do that much harm. But the real threat is the Russian incompetence. Those guys who now operate the station, they're mostly Russians, yeah? And yeah, they're all Russians, and they could be not so competent, I would say, like in Chernobyl. Yeah, it was the lack of competence, so here it could be the same scenario. That's what I afraid of most of all.
Because a lot of modelling has been done. If there was a nuclear accident in Zaporizhzhia, the thought is that most of the contamination would head westwards and therefore affect Ukraine and Europe. And this is incredibly dangerous. And I hope...
Actually, it's kind of the rare picture, guys. I would say it's close to not possible. Why? Because most of the winds are blowing from the west. All the weather in Ukraine, it goes from the west. It's very, 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 very rare that we have eastern winds. It's either west most of the time, north or south. From east, it's like there should be several days in a year, like maybe 1 week or something. So this will go to Russia. This will go to Russia in this case, yeah, most of all.
The International Atomic Energy Agency will get aboard this very, very quickly. The worst case scenario would be some sort of chain reaction within the reactors, which would cause them to overheat and explode. Nuclear fuel, if it gets to a critical situation, like it did in Chernobyl, can explode. I am a massive fan of the nuclear deterrence. I think the idea of mutually assured destruction has protected the planet
since the end of the Second World War, and we haven't seen major conflict. However, Ukraine war is sort of changing that. You know, Putin seems to be pretty happy with mutually assured destruction. This is recklessness beyond really comprehension.
Hamish, thank you so much for speaking to me. And just to step back with all of this for a second, the reason that I'm so focused on what's happening at this plant, because the same people that caused the Chernobyl disaster to happen, the same system of secrecy, the same system of bullshit that mean that we don't even know how many people died, are the same people that are operating the plant today. And if you don't believe me...
Yeah. That's the main issue. It's actually not the military, it's not the drone, it's the people who operate the plant. It could be anything. Like they might test something like Chernobyl, some sort of the test that went completely wrong. So they might test also Energodar power station or Zaporizhia nuclear power station, power plant for something, and also something could go completely wrong. Yep.
The HBO series that everyone knows and loves about this disaster, about Chernobyl, was banned in Russia in 2019 when it came out, because Russia hasn't changed a bit since the collapse of the Soviet Union. In fact, it's gotten worse. And one of the main problems with all of this is that when the Berlin Wall fell and when the Soviet system collapsed, the liberal West thought that that system died with it. And in fact, it got worse. And now these people are running this nuclear facility. The same people that are running this plant, by the way, are the exact same system that flew drones into the protective shield that was built by the international community around Chernobyl just last year. The same people that are running this nuclear facility, which is the largest in Europe. And this is why all of this represents a complete disaster. And the reason that I'm focusing so much on this plant today is because the fact they're now being so brazen as to fly drones over it should wake up everyone that this isn't just a battle between the Russians at the other side of the river and the Ukrainians in Nikopol. It's Russians versus the entire planet. And just before I finish this, I want to speak to someone that understands nuclear energy very, very, very specifically. Mariana Buzernin is one of the world's leading experts on nuclear weapons. She's one of the people that has studied exactly what happens when nuclear systems fall into unstable hands.
40 years after Chernobyl, we are still observing the consequences of that disaster. The causes of it go way back to the design of a faulty reactor, to the kind of system that allowed that design to be built.
It was not the issue of design. It was not the same reactors, they're still operating. It's not the design was okay. It's the people who experimented with the reactor. The design was fine, actually. It's one of the safest still reactor of that time, and yeah, as I mentioned, you're still in operation. Yeah, it's not a design flaw.
Chernobyl basically exposed the rot and dysfunction of the Soviet system.
The Soviet authorities tried to cover up the accident. Though they knew that radiation levels were rising, putting the population in danger, they refused to give the alarm. Radioactivity from Chernobyl, 100 kilometers to the north, was
actually just one of the four reactors exploded. 3 continue normal operation and continue for years and years ahead. Then Chernobyl power station was put until it was put to cold idle, and still it is on cold idle, so it's not producing power for commercial use, but still it's producing. Like 3 of the remaining reactors, they produce power and they require some of the personnel to operate those. Like Chernobyl, it's not like, oh, it exploded and that's it. No, Chernobyl is the station with several reactors, 4. And they were building, by the way, 2 more, but yeah, 1 exploded. And those reactors fall, like some bad reactors, bad designers, that woman said, they're still in operation, still working, but on idle.
now blowing towards the city. Yet here too, no warnings were given.
There's sort of this maxim that took hold internationally, that a nuclear accident anywhere is a nuclear accident everywhere, simply because radiation respects no borders. And you know, the fallout went as far as actually Britain and Ireland even. The storming with live military attack on the operating nuclear power plant at Zaporizhia was really quite unprecedented in human history. And so the parallels are such that the kind of system that is rooted in Moscow has manufactured and manipulated nuclear risks in the civilian nuclear sector, where these were supposed to be atoms for peace. They're being manipulated as tools of war. Essentially, when you have a nuclear chain reaction going on in the core of an operating reactor, this is a very dangerous situation, right? There's a lot of energy released. The reactor relies on sort of robust cooling systems. If the power is cut off to that cooling system, then the heat cannot be whisked away. The water boils, the fuel melts, and then you have a nuclear accident. Yeah, there is something about nuclear, whether it's atoms for peace or atoms for war. They have power over us humans, those who are in control of them, as well as those who are on the receiving end. And these risks are easy to create, easy to manipulate, and the fear that it instills is real. And so those in power, especially if it's the kind of regime that does not observe any international rules and norms, that does not practice restraint, these type of risks are very seductive to those kinds of regimes.
So Nikopol is behind me, and a few hundred kilometers this way is Chernobyl. 40 years ago, the world stopped. Not because of what it could see, but because of what it finally understood. That something as small as an atom could unmake everything. But we already knew that. We knew it the very moment the light vanished over Hiroshima. It erased a city and left shadows where people had been. That was the line that humanity drew and promised to never cross again. The Cold War didn't give us peace. It gave us fear. Fear that if we ever stepped back from the edge, there might be nothing left. And for a time, that fear held. Eisenhower stood before the world and said the atom could be something else.
Peaceful power from atomic energy is here, now, today. This greatest of destructive forces can be developed into a great boon for the benefit of all mankind.
Not a weapon, but a force for life. For energy, for progress, atoms for peace. And for a moment, we believed him. We built reactors instead of bombs. We built power stations instead of fallout shelters. And we told ourselves that the danger had been mastered. And now, standing here in Nikopol, we feel something else. And that's not that fear protects us. Not anymore, it's that fear is now being used. People here don't study history. They live it. They run from drones, they count the seconds, and they listen to the sky. And now, the same atom that we tried to civilize is back inside a war. Not as a weapon we launch, but as a risk that we gamble with. And this is the moment that history warns us about. Not the explosion, but the moment before it. Because catastrophe doesn't begin with a blast. It begins with a decision. A line crossed. Then another and another. Until the unthinkable becomes routine. We told ourselves, after Hiroshima, after Chernobyl, that we had learned that the atom would never again be part of a conflict. But standing here right now, that promise feels fragile because this doesn't need to explode to change everything. It only needs to be pushed far enough that one day it does. And if that day comes, there'll be no speeches left to give, no lessons left to learn. Because when it comes to this, we don't get a rewrite, only an ending.
Oh shit, the mic is off. Shit. Yeah, now it's on. Very good video. Yeah, yeah, I'm trying to say that it's the journalist job that Kellen does. And I cannot do that stuff, but he can do it. He is a talented guy, yeah. Like, CNN, BBC, they may also came out with those journalist things, but it's like Kellen alone, with support of patrons, he can do it. He can do it. Yeah. I am less emotional. I'm like this fact check guy. Boom, 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 boom. Some of the sarcastic sometimes could be, but Kellen really like this who pushes your like soul. Here we go. Somewhat lazy journalist. Yeah. So I really like that in this pro-Ukrainian community we have different people, yeah, from with different background, and they put the light on the same issue from different perspectives, and yeah, it's interesting. So yeah, the videos are outstanding lately. Then it's not just because of Ukraine's advances. I know, I'm not sure. Like, I'm just this blah 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 guy doing nothing really. Also, I have noticed that you never leave like on videos. Leave? What do you mean? Never leave like on videos. Ah, you mean then I watch videos I never leave like? I will leave like, of course. Just left the like for Kellen. By the way, I was in a bar club the last week in St. Gallen and was full of Ukrainians. So really? There everyone was talking Russian. Then I went, they were talking English to me because none could speak German, but it was amazing. Why I see? Yeah. I also speak Russian. I am one of those Ukrainians who speak Russian, and I think around like at least 30% of Ukrainians, they speak Russian. At least, maybe more. Before 2014, I think, mostly people spoke Russian. Like in the company where I used to work, Uter Ukraine and Ukraine International Airlines, I think, yeah, even after 2014, there were just few people who spoke Ukrainian. Mostly people spoke Russian, yeah. But now it's different, yeah. Now people try to distance from the Russian culture and including Russian language. But for me, like, language is language, come on. I hope that in Ukraine, Russian will also have its own right, or its own place, and yeah. Kalina Bar looks shady from outside, but they have a club inside. Ah. Really, Ben? Wow. Multilingual, more than speaking Russian. We speak German, French, and Italian in Switzerland, and we are not Germans or Italians. Yeah, I really like this Swedish model of Switzerland. Yeah, I really like. I think that Ukraine should take this plan. Like, it's, of course, it's federation, yeah, or confederation, how it's better to say. But I think it's the way how it should be. One country, but different ruling in cantons, federal government, and yeah, this is how it should be, I think. If you have multiculturalism in your country, that's the way out. of how to stay together in one country. Otherwise, you will not stay in the country without federation. Start to feel sorry for Russian people this last few years after learning so much about their history of being oppressed by their own government. I don't have sorry for Russians because, you know, many of them, they still support Putin and they do absolutely nothing to change their regime. So, yeah. Yeah, no, YouTube comments are not showing up. That's the bug of this system. I'll switch it off. Yeah. I really like this model of Switzerland. It's understandable that Ukraine is far, far, far away from reaching the level of Switzerland in everything, but the model, how it works, it's probably one of the true democracies left. Last true democracies. You don't see how valuable casual comments is. People can grasp sense on reality from what you blah blah blah. Also, your opinion is referred to reflected zero propaganda. Yeah, sometimes I have propaganda, come on. Sometimes I have propaganda. Like bias, at least, bias. I just have this hatred towards those Russian soldiers, Russian regime. Yeah. Bro, why do you feel sorry? The Russians let it happen. What they have now, they don't care or they like Putin. Still majority of them, I believe, they support Putin. According to official statistics, 60% 20% of Russians, they were always against Putin. I'm not saying that all of the Russians are bad, but in general, you know, their country attacked Ukraine, and the outcome, like how they behave, yeah, it's not good. And it's not just Putin, it's all of those Russian soldiers who are coming. No one pushes them. There is no forced mobilization now in Russia. Just sign the contract, go and die. And they're going. So it's not Putin with Kalashnikov rifle goes to Ukraine. No, hundreds of thousands of Russians are going. And, yeah. Probably they support it. I was talking to that guy who said he feels sorry. Yeah, I know, Marine. I understood. But G is a good guy. G is a good guy. He is great. For what I may feel sorry for what? For what Russian? Well, I don't feel sorry. Like, by the time they're attacking Ukraine, I don't feel sorry for them. I may suggest them to go away from Russia, that's it. For them to live somewhere else if they really want to live normal life. That's it. Suggestion. Maybe some Asian countries like Vietnam, there are lots of the Russians now living. Because Russians are very limited in Russia, they're going to Vietnam. So the less Russians are in Russia, the less capable Russia is, actually. That's why. The soldiers made their own choices not to surrender. I do not feel sorry for them at all. Yeah, G, I agree. By the way, there was the video shared today. I think I need to record one more video, I think, yeah. But the last video, the previous one on my channel, it went so good, so good, that I'm freaking shocked. Oh, Iran again shut down our MQ Reaper. Let's watch it. Some music. Okay, let's switch it off. Today they shut down one more Reaper. Many of them were hit. Many, multiple. Yeah, it's something new. I never seen this particular video. Haven't seen it. So they have the air defense, it seems like. Footage has been released. United States officials have denied it. The RGC has claimed things before that didn't quite check it out. So TAPS, Iranian media. Well, yeah, it could be an old video. I just saw that my state Supreme Court is blocking the redistricting. Ah, you mean, yeah, before elections. Some sort of the life hack from both of the parties. Republicans started, but now Democrats also want to do redistricting. I would call it cheating, like it's not working good for reputation of elections. Trying to find a video of prisoners of war. Ah, yeah. Okay, so Russians decided to surrender, you see. Laying down weapons. This is Kharkiv direction, northern region. Right right close to the border with Russia. They're laying their weapons and hands up to the drone. And that's good. It's the proper decision. The worst decision was to sign the contract with the Russian army. But here at least they have the good decision. And here they're imprisoned by Ukrainian soldiers. More exchange fund. Yay. Well, they could move and yeah. Nice. More soldiers imprisoned. The Russians. I hate it too, but then Dems tried to ban it nationally. Republicans wouldn't vote for it. Ah, I see, yeah. Sensible events, yeah. But as Russians abroad, the government can't take your stuff and money if they think you're suspect. Really? That's the new law signed by Duma today. Ooh, I didn't know about it, Maria. Hello, Maria. Hope you're doing great. It's very hot now, yeah. And tomorrow it's gonna be again 31 degrees. But on Thursday, at least in Zurich, there should be thunderstorms. Thunderstorm. Best outcome for Russians are not to comply with whatever their government are telling them to do. Yeah. But they will be punished in this case. Me too at airport. Ah, you're at airport. In Zurich? It's very hot if the air condition is off. New way of telling Katsabs to surrender. You want McDonald's? Yeah. Yeah, that's viral video with McDonald's and Russian prisoners of war. It was very interesting. Wow, every day I see more and more of the videos. Like, this is crazy, guys. This is... I would say not even every day. Too hot, I see, Maria. Not even every day, but every few hours, more and more videos are being published with the Russian logistics being hit. This is Nemesis Ukrainian drone unit and how they operate behind the front lines. Just recent couple of weeks. This is something is changing. It is visible. People already may feel it. Russians feel it. Russians are saying about it, about their losses. I hope that Russia will not be capable to attack any longer or perform the military action. Like, it would be a disaster for them if stuff like that continues. The war is all about supplies and logistics. Yeah. But are they ready to attack Estonia? Today, Ukrainian official, some of the general, or I don't know, some military guy told that Russia has plans to attack Estonia. Simply because Estonia is not ready for war, as Ukraine. They don't have as many drones and la. So Russia is seeking some of the success somewhere, and they might attack it. They say.
Идем на боевое задание. 2 автомата.
We're going for attacking mission. 2 machine guns, 3 bulletproof vests, 6 people are...
3 броника на 6.
All disabled. This face of the Russian soldier, Russian Spetsnaz, yay. This is hell. I have some Telegram channels to share the information from. Jeez. Graham is the most grown. Estonia is NATO country. Estonian intelligence seems to attack anytime soon. Well, the good news that NATO seems like it wants to move with extra forces to protect eastern flank, yeah. So they want to deploy 60,000 troops in the coming, I think, months, but I'm not sure. So they're looking for boosting protection. Should be good. Should be great. Yeah, this is what they have. Again, it's far away. Like 70 kilometers. Bukhanka. This is crazy. This is a record. Hope that Ukraine will also be a member of NATO in the future. Yeah, we'll also, yeah, of course. It should be like that. Should be like that. Ukraine should be the part of alliance. Oh, Usyk, right after my video I published, and 2 more fights and I gonna end my career, Usyk said. Yeah, for the last fight against Rico I cannot read his name, surname. Usyk earned $40 million. And $7 million he should be paid by streaming platforms. So 47. But of course he needs to pay for his team, He needs to pay taxes. Yeah. But still, it's the big profit, yeah? If for a single fight, $47 million. That's a lot. And it's just one fight. Throughout his career, he had many of the fights, and this beef with Tyson Fury. And I think watching his last battle, it's understandable that, yeah, his form is not what it was before. Even a couple of years ago, Usyk is, yeah, he's still great, but that's the end. It's coming to his end. I mean, not his end physically, but his professional career, of course. Yeah. Tyson Fury is still around. Yeah, he's still around, I think. There were rumors that they're gonna make one more match with Usyk. I'm not sure about it. But it's good that Usyk understands that it's time to step down. Yeah. I thought initially that Rico was way younger, because he looks way younger, but no, he is just 2 years younger than Usyk. He's 37. But because of his physiques, he was like very, very hard fighter. And also he has this experience of kickboxing, so after all, he has this physical condition to fight, yeah. Doesn't matter for your like endurance, whether it's boxing or kickboxing, you still need to have the endurance to stay there tight as long as possible, and he managed to get it, yeah. That's why he's very dangerous, even though he has just kickboxing background and new in boxing. Yeah, time to retire at 39. Yeah, I'm surprised that also, if we speak about sports, that Ronaldo is still playing. He is also 39, by the way. And I am 39. Maybe I should retire. Yes or no? Luckily for my job, I don't need physical activity that much, that exhausting activity. 39. I had a friend when I was really young. I was in elementary school, let's say, and his father died at 39 because of the heart attack. The father of my friend. It was like the first time I heard about some sort of the death, and it was so unexpected, 39, you're relatively, I wouldn't say young, but you're okay. And the heart attack, and his father was a pilot. Yeah. Interesting. No any issues with the heart, and 39, and he's gone. One night, didn't wake up. Strange. And it was like, wow, he died out of nowhere. And it was the first realization of mine. I was really a kid. I don't know, the second grade, I think, 8 years old I was. And it was like, the death is here. So it's not just in cartoons or TV. It's in your life, and it touches like your friend. Oh, terrible. Yeah. Heart disease kills more than cancer. Yeah. Now I see that the age for the heart disease is dropping down. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, if we speak about the philosophy of life and death, it's very interesting. Hello, Denys and friends. Putin planning another massive attack on Kiev. Yes, fortunately. Before I was afraid really of death. Now I don't think so. But still, like, sometimes I have this thought that we gonna die, it's not forever, like, and the life is very damn short. Yeah. And it could be frightening that, not because of the end, but because of the realization, you know, your personality realization in this life. Yeah. So it's like going out before you reach all of your plans. Yeah. But plans are changing sometimes. You put more plans, new plans, you never know. Oh, new videos. Melitopol. Oh my god, what is happening with those Russians? Fuel, gun, no fuel. Some vehicle, some other vehicle, some other vehicle, other vehicle, other vehicle, other vehicle, other vehicle, other vehicles, other vehicles. Ah! This is crazy. Too young, yeah. It's better to view the life from Buddhist perspective. There is a bigger plan and not this life only. I don't believe in afterlife. I don't believe in reincarnation. No. I believe that it's the only thing that we have. That's my belief, and it makes it more precious, I guess. My Ukrainian bud loves salo, worry about his heart. Well, if he eats just salo, I think it's too much, but sometimes salo is fine. Hulk, I fear nothing. Yeah. Yeah, my brain is 20, but my body... Yeah, see you around, Evelyn. But yeah, I'm gonna finish it probably. So see you tomorrow. I have already died, it didn't stick, yeah. In the future, you can use AI to scan your personality and preserve it. But just imagine, okay, you scan your personality, you download your personality, your memories, your consciousness to some of the machine. As this is dystopian thing that Elon Musk tries to tell. Like you can download someone's consciousness, memories to Tesla bot. So you download it yourself somewhere, yeah, you're scanned, and there is exact copy of you, but in machine body, let's say. But will it make the copy of yourself you? Like you're still alive, for example, you're damn sick and you want to live, so they took the copy while you're alive through some of the futuristic machine. They put it to the other machine, but you're still there and you'll die in any case, yeah? It's just the copy, like, of you will continue to live. I think it's not you after all. They want to become digital gods, yeah. The most dystopian thing, is those CEOs of or owners of the corporations. They look at us as on not on humans, but on some batteries, yeah, batteries like in Matrix. And really, for them, it doesn't really matter whether the consciousness is artificial or it's made by nature in its core, yeah. The core is consuming products, purchasing, moving economy, everything of that. That's why sometimes the words of them, they're sleeping out. telling some of the CEOs of those AI companies, AI is better than humans. We can like easily rely on AI better than on humans. So yeah. Can we go to past? Can we all go to digitalization of and like the biological part of individualism could it be really erased if this gap between machine and human is erased as well? That's the problem, I think, for the future. Yeah, even if you create exact copy, then that copy, it's McDonald's, for example, you yourself won't taste it. It's still not you. Yeah. Cockster mobster. That's the philosophical question. That's the plot of the Eccles in Mr. Doctor Who, yeah. Maybe in Europe this isn't, but in the United States is a hot garbage slope. It's everywhere, hot garbage slope. You can even now just train copy of yourself with all of your videos on YouTube. Yeah. And the companies, the employees of the companies, they're training AI, which is replacing them. Just imagine that. Yeah, slope is everywhere, yeah. That doesn't make sense. If you would have proper neurocomputers, digital doesn't equal biological. Yeah, for now, no, but maybe they will create tokens, individual tokens of AI persons generated, and they will do the same stuff as you, but they will not complain. Why do we need people in this case? No, we need people, yeah, in general, but those companies, corporations, why do they need people, really? They need us just to consume. If they have something else to consume, the products they make, and yeah, they don't need that much people then. I think so. They just need money and yeah, that's it. Money, power. If they will have it without half of the people in the world, why not? That's how you get Terminators, yeah. Yeah, Terminator is a nice movie. Great movie. With the plot, actually. Blockbuster with the plot. Yeah, back in 90s, 80s, the movies were different thing. Alright guys, I'm gonna go and film one more video probably today, Ukrainian update, and see you around. Thanks for visiting the stream, and you're awesome. You're the best. And by the way, we have a good activity today on the stream. Really nice. 143, way better than yesterday, I might say. Very, very better. But as you see, I'm like myself, I'm tired a little. So yeah, see you around. Ciao.